I'm so sick of these people. You know, I'm the tribal chief around here. Yeah, you see me, the tribal chief. That's right.
I got that thing on me. I got that stick. I got that tool. I'm packing.
You must be some kind of a dumbass. And I will never retire.
You know, this aggression will not stand, man.
Now get that garbage out of here!
It doesn't matter what you think.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of FNR. Tonight, I am joined by one of the co-hosts, Cam. How are we doing tonight?
Yo, what's going on, man? I'm doing pretty good tonight.
We got Alan to chat with her Dixosaurus Rexes. Love it. So, let's see. We're going to talk about football. We're going to talk about SmackDown. What do we want to start with tonight? Do we want to start with the hot show that we just watched and run that down real quick? Or do we want to talk about the great weekend that we had this past weekend in the NFL? So I give Ado your props where it deserves it.
Yeah.
But let's head over to the NFL from Wildcard Weekend last week. We had some great games, some not so great games, and then some surprises, as some people would say. So this week, we now have 4 games left in this round with 2 games for each league, NFC, AFC. And we have the number 7 seed in the NFC, the Green Bay Packers, taking on the number 1 seed, the San Francisco 49ers. What? I know that the Green Bay Packers played the Cowboys, but honestly, how many people had the Packers beating the Cowboys?
I don't know. I mean, I I heard some people talking, and some people were just like, "Oh no, the Packers, no, they're not beating the Cowboys or whatever." I kind of had my doubts just because I really didn't know how good the Packers really were, but then I quickly remembered, like, okay, it's the Cowboys. Like they choke in the playoffs. This is what they are known for. They're the only home team out of the wild card round that lost at home. They're the only ones.
They are. Every other team, every one of the other higher seeds had a win, and the Cowboys were the only ones that lost.
There you go.
Now, granted, some of the other teams were not favored to win and still won. But I'm excited to see this game because I think the Packers, if their offense keeps doing what they have been doing lately, can actually go tit for tat with the 49ers. And it's going to end up coming down to a defensive stop that's going to win the game.
I could see it. I mean, if they come out of the gate like they did against the Cowboys, I think we're going to see a very competitive game offensively, and like I said, it's just going to kind of come down to defenses and see whose defenses is just stronger to get those key stops. I mean, I'm taking the Niners just because I feel like they're going to have a better game plan, and I think they're going to study what happened to the Cowboys, and they're just like, no, not in our house. You're not doing that to us. So I'm taking the Niners. I think the Niners are just too good right now. I don't think the Packers are going to be able to stop just the firepower that the Niners have right now.
The Niners just have too much firepower between Deebo Samuel, CMC, and now you have Ayuk coming up. Kittle is still known to have great games when he needs to. And then not to mention the defense, where you have Bosa and Sweat, right? Both
Yep.
of them are like, it's just, I don't think the Packers are going to be able to stay with them the entire game. Like, it's going to be tit for tat probably for the first half. You're going to go inside, and then San Francisco's going to come out and just change the momentum of the game in the second half, because we know how well Shanahan is on game plans. And I think that's
Exactly.
where this game is going to be won. And I can see the 49ers moving into the conference championship.
Yeah.
The next game is the other NFC matchup, and that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Detroit Lions. You want to talk about this one first, Cam?
Man, this is difficult because, like, I look at what the Bucks did to the Eagles, and it's like it's not, to me, it's not surprising for me, I guess, because the Eagles were crumbling already as it was. They lost their last, like, 6 games going into the playoff game. I mean, they literally had, I would think, the NFC title, like, in the palm of their hands, and they just let it slip through their fingers.
They lost
Uh,
5
s-
of their last 6. And the
yeah,
only one that they beat was the Giants, and then lost
yeah,
to them in the last week of the season.
yeah. So, I mean, Baker Mayfield throwing for 337 and 3 touchdowns, like, on a hurt ankle at that. So, I mean, the guy was just balling out. So they play like that, and I don't know, they could come into Ford Field and shock everybody and beat the Lions. So this is definitely difficult. But I don't know. I'm taking the Lions. I just think the Lions are going to be more prepared. The thing that's going to hurt them if they don't tighten it up is the defense. Against the Rams, it was very competitive. Puka Nakua, I mean, that dude's like a freaking tank. I was saying this watching that game. I feel like they ought to invent a new position, and call it like strong wide receiver or something like that, because he's not just a wide receiver. The man's a freaking tank. You need like 4 or 5 people just to tackle him, like, because he just refuses to go down. Like, the man was under coverage of 4 people, and he's still making plays. Like, Puka Nakua is just crazy. Like, it's insane what he can do. So, but yeah, they definitely need to tighten up on that defense, because the defense towards the end of that game just couldn't hold water. So if they don't tighten that up, I think Baker Mayfield's just going to be slinging the ball all over the field. But I'm taking the Lions, though. I think the Lions are in this for the long haul, and I think they want it a little more.
Jared Goff has a lot to prove.
Yes.
And he started that last week by proving to the Rams that they were wrong to trade him. I know the Rams have won a Super Bowl since they did the trade, and Stafford got them that. But last week, Goff was the better man. And he took down Stafford, moved on into the playoffs, and I see the same thing happening this week. Baker has had a great season. Big comeback for him from what he did over in Cleveland. Like, completely different QB. He's reinvented himself. He's going to have a great career. He's a free agent this year. He's going to get signed, big contract, and then he's going to go from there. I just don't think, because based off of his injured ankle, he had that last week. White looked like he was a little banged up. So, like, I just think there's a lot of injuries going on over in the Tampa Bay, and I think the Lions are going to be the ones to prevail this week. We're going to head over to now the AFC, and we're going to talk about the Houston Texans versus the Baltimore Ravens. This is where I think we could have an upset. And I know you would love this so much.
Yes.
Because you hate the Ravens. I feel that Baltimore is, yes, obviously Baltimore was the number 1 seed. They played great throughout the entire year. I just think the potential of the collapse that could happen because of the 2-week break for some of these players is there. And if Houston comes out like a house on fire and you have that first play of the game, Stroud to Collins, 75-yard bomb, touchdown, 7-0 already, it could be a gut punch for the Ravens. Especially if they don't come back and score in that first play. And next thing you know, Houston's up 14-0. I love what Stroud has done this year. I feel he is the rookie of the year. I know Nakua has had an amazing season, and it's going to be between the two of them. I just feel what Stroud has done being the QB is going to put him over the top on that. And I feel, and what I'm hoping, is that the Texans win.
I'm right there with you, man. I really am. This would be a big upset. The Ravens are literally in the same position that the Cowboys were in and the Eagles were in. We could see a colossal collapse from a team that's just been destroying championship candidates for a good chunk of the regular season. And if they don't find a way to duplicate what they have been doing in the regular season, they could easily get beaten at home. But you know, the rookie combo of the rookie coach and the rookie quarterback and CJ Stroud with the Houston Texans has so far been proven to be a winning combo right now. And I would obviously love for the Texans to win this game, but my gut is just telling me that for me, this is just set up for the Ravens to just absolutely put the Texans in their place. Like, just to remind them, hey, y'all, this is why y'all are there and we are where we are at. So I'm taking the Ravens, but I'm hoping the Texans.
I mean, you mentioned the rookie QB, the rookie coach. Unfortunately, they lost the rookie wide receiver as well, because when Tank Dell was on that team, between Dell and Collins with Stroud, they were almost unstoppable. And to think that it's two rookies and a second-year player just shows what this team can have for the future.
Exactly.
What's going on, Sammy? How are we doing tonight?
Sammy.
We already went through that game. Glad you weren't here for it.
We took the Lions.
We both took the Lions. Sorry. I know that breaks your heart. I'm sorry. Let's head to the final game of the weekend. And that's probably, I think, could be the best matchup out of all of them. Yes, he absolutely did steal the show tonight.
Absolutely.
It was the Randy Orton show in the main event, and he put them all in their place, and he was the one standing tall. And we are sure, and we all know that you were very excited and very happy for it. Back to the NFL. I think this could be the best matchup of the weekend, honestly. The Chiefs versus the Bills. And the reason being what happened a couple years ago in the playoffs, in the overtime game, and how things would change because of it. I think Josh Allen wants to get his revenge. What are your thoughts on this before I give who I think is going to win?
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Josh Allen definitely wants his revenge for what happened. I see this game going the distance. I think this game goes to overtime. I see this game probably being decided by a field goal. It's definitely going to be very back and forth. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a shootout between these two. The first time the Chiefs have been on the road for a playoff game, so this is a different. So they're in their house now. They're in the Bills' house now. Again, a tough decision for me to be able to predict. Like I said, my gut is telling me the Chiefs, but I'm hoping that it's the Bills. I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs in it all the time. They're like turning into like the Patriots just being in it every season. So, but I'm hoping the Bills.
After the game last week between the Dolphins, which we all knew was going to happen that way when it was out in the cold and the weather was involved and everything. See, this one now, the weather situation is even. Both teams are used to this type of weather. It's supposed to be very cold in Buffalo. There's supposed to be snow again. So I see that as being a factor in the game, but both teams being able to adjust to it better.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. Like, he's good. And I kind of agree with you where I'm tired of seeing him win already. And knowing that he still has like another 8 years left on his contract there just makes me disgusted to know that he's going to be there forever. The saving grace with the Chiefs is knowing that they really only have one wide receiver right now, and that's Rashid Rice. You have Kelsey, but he's been covered, and it's been leaving Rice open. If they start covering Rice and force Kelsey to be open, he needs to catch the damn ball and not be drop happy like he's been lately. I feel like the Chiefs are the team that has the most drops in the NFL. I mean, you have Kadarius Toney on your team. What else can you expect? But I do think that Josh Allen finds a way to get his team to the conference finals and then unfortunately take it on the road if the Ravens win or host another home game if the Texans do.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, there's really not much else to be said about the NFL for this week. We went through the games. Anything else you want to touch on before we decide to get it on out and close out for the night?
I think that's it.
So, I'm trying to think. I'm at a loss for words right now. I'm just like, my mind is like racing everywhere.
Scatterbrained.
So we covered SmackDown tonight. We went through everything. Great show. We both agree it should have been the go home show compared to next week. Kind of curious as to how next week can top this. Don't think it can, but we will see. These NFL games, they are going to be good this weekend. You have 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. They went back to the format of one league, one from each league on every day, as opposed to last week where it was 3 in a row, which was very weird setup. No, I don't know if we will ever see that again. I don't think people liked watching the same conference back to back to back.
No.
I know the weather helped with that and breaking things up. So
yeah.
But yeah, make sure you check out those games. Come back here next week when we do Friday Night Review again. Discuss the games with us. We love seeing people in the chat. Some programming notes before we let you know where you can find us. Like I said earlier, right after this show over on Rivet City Radio, you're going to have DJ Tommy talking about the nightlife and all the different things going on in his area, talking about what you can expect, concerts, so many different things. On Sunday, you have Bot Spots and Chair Shots on Rivet City Radio at 8 p.m., which would be followed by Sorry for the Interruption on a new night. Mondays, you have on a new night as well, you have the Table Spot following Monday Night Raw. And then on Tuesdays, you have NXT on tap following the NXT episode right here on Rivet City Radio. That being said, Cam, where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me on TikTok at CallMeCamG and Cam's Wrestling Corner. You can find me on Twitter at 317. Well, I'm sorry. You can find me on Twitter at CamandCheese317. You can find me on Instagram at 317 Bacon, Eggs, and Cam. And then, of course, you can find me right here every single Friday night with Friday Night Review. And, of course, on the new night, on Monday nights on Rivet City Radio with the Table Spot. And every single Wednesday night on Rivet City Radio with The Boom. We are in the midst of season 2. So that is popping off every single Wednesday night following Dynamite. And, yeah, check me out.
I am Scalz. I am here on Off the Top Media on both Twitch and YouTube, as well as Off the Top Media _ on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Like I said, you can find me on NXT on Tap. I am the host for that show. I am here on FNR. And then on Saturday nights, we do Ringside Chatter, which is about hockey. So if that's something you are interested in, make sure you check it on out. We were going to be raiding over to our other show, but I don't see them live yet. Lovely. A little bit of a slow start tonight. It is their first show, so not too bad. But I want to thank everybody for coming out, and we will catch y'all guys soon. Hope y'all have a great evening, and we'll see you next week.